Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time of day that this message finds you. I hope that it finds you well and that you are in good health and that your soul is prospering and that you continue to feed it things that are going to help it to continue to prosper, even as you prosper. Now, before I get into this message, I just want to share with you, I had another video that I had scheduled to publish here, which prompted me as my thinking about it, because I still have some editing to do on it, and prompted me to think about, hey, what am I doing and what am I going to share? And it helped me to see sometimes the process and the creative process and the procedures that we need to go through to share some of these thoughts and some of our videos on social media can sometimes get in the way of us being in the moment. And that is what brought me to this point to want to share another in time, real time, now message with you. And so I found myself going back to the place of meditating. Okay. And the reason why is because sometimes I think we can get in the position of producing and being productive to make sure that we have content to put on the internet or to share whatever medium that it is that if we're not careful, we can get caught up in the production of the content and sometimes step away from our beings and what we did and what we should be doing to remain who we are, to make sure that we are producing content that is actually tried and true content that we're actually living out in our lives. And so I found myself with that thought of thinking, hey, it looks like I want to put up another video. Okay. And so it made me think, hey, are you doing this just to be doing this? Or are you really wanting to make sure that you're sharing information that's going to empower the people just as you've been empowered? And I said to myself, yeah, that's what I thought I've been doing. But like I said, sometimes the production wheel, we can sometimes, if we're not careful, get caught up in it. And so I wanted to share a real time, in time, now message with you right now in the place of meditation and being in the rays, in the direction of the rays of the sun. As you can see, it just lit up right then as we spoke about it. Okay. And as I thought about this, it made me think about some of the questions that you had. Okay. What does meditation do? And how do we do it? And what should we ask for, position ourselves for in it? And so I wanted to answer those questions. Okay. First of all, is because, yes, I'm admonishing us to disengage from the world for a few moments. That's what I've said on my previous meditation videos, to disconnect from the world. I mean, now I told you about me. Now ask yourself the question. Is everything you're pursuing, is everything that you do, that your feet hit the floor, that you put on your coat, that you run out the front door for, that you're pursuing, that you're chasing, or that's calling you, is it really serving you? Are all those things that you do on a daily basis really serving you? Is it enhancing? Is it cultivating your life's purpose? And I know you may be saying, hey, but we got to work. We got to get that money. We got to pay our bills. We got to buy food. We got to buy clothes. Yes, you do. Again, don't let those answers block you from the question that I asked you. Is everything that you're doing, is everything that you're pursuing, is everything that you're going after in a day, in a week, in a month, think on it. Is it serving you as much as you're serving and feeding it? Is it helping? Is it enhancing? Is it enlightening you to walk closer into your life's purpose? I give you a moment to think of that. Now, anything that you have to answer, understand that answer will be back to you, not me, back to you. And I'm challenging you to ask that question, and more so, answer. Sit down and take some time to answer that question. So now, which brings me to the point of having this type of time in solitude, basking in the sun gazing, meditating, thinking, having a moment to yourself. Those are the type of things that you must think about. Those are the type of times that you take that type of time to do those things in. If you're not doing that, this world and these things out here will continually give you something to occupy you, to distract you from taking that time out to think to yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing it for? So now, as we sometimes because we're so caught up, I believe, should I say, and I have seen this, everything that we look at as a help, I don't want to go through names and things of situations or products or meditations or whatever it is. It seems like if we can't see the answer or the benefit or how it's going to benefit us at that moment, we have a hard time taking a moment out to actually think about it, because we want to know, how am I going to get a return? How is this going to benefit me? Same with the microwave, the same going through a drive-through, the same putting money in the bank or an investment. We want to know up front, how is this going to benefit me? So I'll know. And if I'll say we too, if we know those answers, then we will go do the thing. If it's practice, as the last video, as you've seen, if it's practice, if I can guarantee myself, if I practice something 1,000 times, that they're going to book me at Carnegie Hall, then I might take the time out and be determined enough and be serious enough to go ahead and practice 1,000 times, because I'm most likely going to be guaranteed a booking at Carnegie Hall. And I challenge us, and I submit to you, I believe the majority of us, that's how we think. So that's why when we think about sitting down, being alone with ourselves, and taking time out in solitude and digressing from some of the thoughts that our mind has wound up and all the information that has come at us through social media, TV, movies, music, the demands of the workplace and the family, and just all the information from billboards, you name it. There's so much information coming at us. So to take time out to digress from all that information, sometimes it's halting and it's daunting for us to do it because we're not used to it. And we are, if we tell the truth, we're afraid of it because we have this stuff has tricked our mind so much that we think we have to be doing something. We have to be talking about something. We have to be engaged with something that we can see, feel, taste, or touch at that given moment. And that's not the type of thing, initially, should I say, that's going to happen when you take time out for yourself to meditate. And so what I want to do is, because this is something that I discovered years ago, is that, you know what? We don't have to think about anything. Let's just go ahead and be. If it takes 10 seconds for us to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to separate myself from everything and the chatter and everything. I'm going to walk out of that crowd. I'm not going to go to break with everybody else today. I'm not going to go to lunch with everybody else today. I'm not going to turn on the radio at my lunch break or my break, or, listen to that on the commute on the way home or whatever. I'm going to step away from that. And then I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to step away and go somewhere alone by myself. And then the question becomes to be, well, what do we do? How do I position myself for this? And what I was able to find out, and through reading through some books that helped me out back in the day, was, you know what? Anything that we're doing when we hear a thought that has us thinking about what we did, what we need to do, what we need to do 2 hours later, those are the things that we're trying to quiet down. So that's the first exercise that we're trying to do, is to quiet down the thoughts that we have impeding on our minds. Then we're trying to get to a place, of actually blankness, of quietness, of blankness, where there aren't those bombarding thoughts of things that we can think about anytime, really, and we always do. We're trying to get to some higher level of thought. That's what our whole goal is doing this, okay? And I'm telling you, it might come easy for you. I don't know. But I will tell you this, unless you're different from me or I'm different from you, it's hard. It's not an easy task to do that. So one of these books that I read, I don't remember the name of that book actually, back in the day, it instructed, encouraged us, the first thing to do is to count our breaths. Okay? So just focus on your breath. Okay, that was 3. My exercises is I try to count the breaths, okay? Not just count them, because at my second breath, when I was taking my second breath, you know what I did? I ended up letting a thought come into my head. I said, this seem like a pretty good video. And I started thinking about a thumbnail of what am I going to put on the picture, on the front picture, that you would see this before this video came up. So right then, when I do this by myself, I'm doing it with you right now. When I have something like that, I go back to the beginning until a thought that things that I'm thinking about, I try to impede my mind of things that I need to do, that I should do and all that. When they interrupt, I start back over and I start back at 1. Because the goal is, trying to get a blank slate. We're trying to get a blank slate. We're trying to get 100% quietness. 100. Did that scare you? I bet you started looking around. I bet you thought your phone froze up, didn't you? I bet you looked over at the TV, looked over at the stereo, looked at your watch, you know what I'm saying? Your other phone, your pager, you know what I'm saying? You just try to look because you thought something froze up. Just, hey man, what time is? That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, again, a real-time moment in meditation with you today and me today. And I just want to go over those things. And again, that's what I do. And so just wanted to share something. Here's the sun again. It's a beautiful thing. It is a very beautiful thing. And in this age that we are in now, that we're living in now, there are so many opportunities. People call them distractions, but there are so many opportunities. They can be distractions. I don't want to just label everything as a distraction, because guess what? A distraction to you might be an opportunity to me. A distraction to me may be an opportunity to you. So who's to decide on what's an opportunity and what's a distraction? You. Of you getting to the next stage, the next phase, the next level in your life. Okay? Now, if it's an accumulation of things, or if it's chasing the bag, or if it's, whatever it is, I'm not going to say, start naming things off and say that these things are bad. No. But back to the beginning of the video. Are you losing yourself in the process of those things? Are those things serving you? Or are they making you be a slave to them? God bless you. Until the next message.